On April 17, 2023, an audacious crime unfolded at Toronto Pearson International Airport, sending shockwaves through the worlds of international finance, aviation, and law enforcement. In the span of just a few hours, what should have been a routine cargo transfer turned into one of the most significant and mysterious heists in Canadian history. The airport, a bustling hub connecting Canada to the globe, suddenly became the stage for a crime that seemed straight out of a Hollywood thriller. Over $20 million in pure gold, 6,600 bars in total, and an additional $2.5 million in crisp cash simply vanished, leaving authorities and the public alike baffled. The sheer scale of the theft was staggering, and the fact that it happened in such a secure, high-traffic environment only deepened the mystery. The gold and cash were supposed to be under the tightest security, yet they disappeared without a trace, as if swallowed by the very walls of the airport itself. How could such a massive fortune simply evaporate from one of the busiest and most closely monitored airports in the world? The logistics of moving that much gold and cash undetected would require not only careful planning, but also a deep understanding of airport operations and security protocols. The audacity of the crime left investigators scrambling for answers, as they pored over hours of security footage and interviewed dozens of airport staff. The stolen gold, weighing a staggering 400 kilograms, was no ordinary cargo. Each bar was meticulously cataloged, labeled, and secured for transport, making the theft even more perplexing. The shipment was meant to be handled with the utmost care, with multiple layers of security in place to prevent exactly this kind of incident. Yet despite all precautions, the gold and cash slipped through the cracks. This was no random act. The gold had been shipped from the renowned Valcombe gold refinery in Switzerland, destined for TD Bank in Toronto. It arrived on Air Canada Flight 881, a routine flight that, on this day, would become anything but ordinary. The precious cargo was offloaded and processed like countless shipments before it, but somewhere along the way, the plan was set in motion. Somewhere between the tarmac and the airport vault, the unthinkable happened. A meticulously orchestrated operation, likely involving inside knowledge and precise timing, unfolded in the shadows. The thieves exploited vulnerabilities in the system, moving swiftly and quietly, leaving behind almost no evidence. It was a heist that seemed to defy logic, executed with a level of sophistication rarely seen in real life. As investigators dug deeper, a tangled web of intrigue began to unravel. They discovered forged documents, evidence of insider information, and a cast of mysterious characters who may have played a role in the plot. The case quickly grew in complexity, drawing in experts from across the country and around the world. The daring heist at Toronto Pearson was no longer just a theft. It was a puzzle, one that would challenge even the most seasoned detectives and keep the world watching in suspense. The story of the stolen gold begins in the picturesque Swiss countryside at Valcombe, one of the world's most prestigious gold refineries. Nestled among rolling hills and snow-capped peaks, Valcombe is a fortress of security and precision, where gold is refined to the highest standards. Here, raw gold is transformed into gleaming bars, each stamped with a unique serial number, and the Valcombe insignia, a mark recognized by banks and investors across the globe. The refinery's reputation for excellence and security makes it the starting point for countless shipments of precious metal. But this particular consignment would soon become infamous. The shipment in question was no ordinary delivery. It consisted of 6,600 meticulously cataloged gold bars, weighing nearly 400 kilograms, along with millions of dollars in cash. The cargo was carefully packed and sealed, then loaded onto Air Canada Flight 881, bound for Toronto. Security was tight. Armed guards, surveillance cameras, and strict protocols ensured that every movement was monitored. The gold's destination, TD Bank, one of Canada's largest financial institutions, where it would be stored in high-security vaults. Upon arrival at Toronto Pearson International Airport, the plan was straightforward. The gold would be swiftly transferred from the aircraft's cargo hold to a waiting Brinks armored truck. Brinks, renowned for its expertise in transporting high-value assets, had been contracted to ensure the gold's safe passage through the final leg of its journey. Their armored vehicles, equipped with state-of-the-art security features, and their highly trained personnel, were trusted by banks and governments worldwide. Every detail had been planned with military precision. The Brinks team was ready, the route to the bank had been mapped out, and the gold was to be under constant watch. For years, Brinks had built its reputation on reliability and discretion, making it the obvious choice for such a valuable cargo. But even the best-laid plans can unravel in an instant. As the Air Canada plane touched down in Toronto, the atmosphere was tense. Ground crews moved quickly, preparing for the critical transfer. Security personnel scanned the area, alert for any sign of trouble. But beneath the surface, a complex plot was already in motion, one that would soon turn a routine shipment into the centerpiece of one of Canada's most daring and mysterious heists. The gold's journey, which began in the impenetrable vaults of a Swiss refinery, was about to take a dramatic and unexpected turn, one that would leave investigators and the public alike searching for answers and wondering how such a meticulously planned operation could go so spectacularly wrong. The thieves' plan was bold and precise, relying on inside knowledge and forged documents. Shortly after the flight landed, a white cube van arrived at the cargo dock, blending in with routine deliveries. The driver presented a convincing but forged money order with an authentic Air Canada stamp, requesting release of a specific pallet. Air Canada staff, deceived by the paperwork, loaded the gold and cash onto the van. The driver calmly drove away, vanishing into the maze of airport roads. The heist exposed a critical security flaw, launching a frantic hunt for the missing millions and those behind the scheme. The disappearance of $22 million in gold and cash triggered a massive RCMP investigation, reaching into the world of organized crime. Investigators scoured surveillance footage, spotting the white van but unable to identify the driver or plates. The van was later found abandoned west of Toronto, containing 6 gold bracelets and smelting equipment, evidence the thieves were already melting down the loot. This confirmed the work of a sophisticated, well-organized group. Gold, once melted, is nearly impossible to trace, complicating the investigation. The RCMP faced a formidable adversary, racing against time to recover the stolen treasure. Nearly a year after the daring heist that shocked the nation, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police intensified their investigation, working tirelessly to track down every lead. Their relentless efforts, involving hundreds of hours of surveillance, wiretaps, and undercover operations, finally paid off. In a coordinated series of raids across multiple cities, the RCMP launched a wave of arrests, netting 9 suspects believed to be directly tied to the audacious crime. The operation was a major breakthrough, sending shockwaves through both law enforcement and the criminal underworld. For months, the public had speculated about who could have orchestrated such a sophisticated theft, and now, answers were finally emerging. Among those arrested was Amit Jalota, a figure already well known to police for his deep connections to organized crime. Jalota's criminal record stretched back years, and investigators believed he played a pivotal role in planning the logistics of the heist. His arrest was seen as a significant blow to the criminal networks operating in the region. Another key suspect was Ahmad Chaudhary, whose ties to the city's underworld made him a person of interest from the very beginning. Chaudhary was known for his ability to move illicit goods and money through a web of contacts, making him an essential link in the chain. Then there was Ali Raza, a jewelry store owner whose legitimate business provided the perfect cover for illegal activities. With access to gold-smelting tools and industry knowledge, Raza was suspected of helping to launder the stolen gold, transforming it into untraceable bars and jewelry. Perhaps most surprising was the arrest of Parmpal Sidhu, an Air Canada employee. Investigators quickly realized that Sidhu's insider knowledge of airport operations had been crucial to the success of the heist. His access to restricted areas and flight schedules made him a key player, and his betrayal stunned colleagues and authorities alike. Another name on the list was Prasath Paramalingam. Unlike the others, his role in the operation remained shrouded in mystery. Police were still piecing together how he fit into the puzzle, but his arrest suggested a deeper level of coordination and secrecy within the group. The case grew even more complex with the involvement of Arkit Grover, a suspect linked to arms trafficking. His presence hinted at the possibility that the group was involved in more than just gold theft, raising concerns about the reach and ambition of the criminal network. Yet, not all the suspects were in custody. The alleged mastermind, Arsalan Chowdhury, managed to evade capture, slipping through the authorities' grasp. Alongside him was Simran Preet Panesar, a former Air Canada employee who also disappeared before police could make an arrest. Their flight from justice only deepened the intrigue surrounding the case. The final suspect, truck driver Durante King McLean would soon become central to the investigation. As the man responsible for transporting the stolen gold, his testimony and cooperation could prove vital in unraveling the full extent of the conspiracy. With each arrest, investigators peeled back another layer of a sprawling criminal network, revealing a story of greed, betrayal, and meticulous planning. The case was far from over, but the RCMP's breakthrough brought them one step closer to justice. The arrest of truck driver Durante King McLean in Pennsylvania added a new twist to the gold heist saga. He was caught with 65 illegal firearms, including machine guns, raising alarms on both sides of the border. Interrogations revealed a suspected link between the stolen gold and arms trafficking, suggesting the loot was funding illegal weapons for sale in Canada. The RCMP and U.S. authorities began working together to dismantle the broader criminal network. King McLean's arrest provided a crucial break, but also raised new questions. Who else was involved? How far did the network reach? And most importantly, where was the missing gold? Despite arrests and relentless pursuit, most of the stolen gold and cash remained missing. Gold's very nature made it nearly untraceable once melted and recast. The thieves likely moved quickly, transforming the bars into generic ingots or jewelry, erasing all links to the heist. With international crime networks possibly involved, the loot could have vanished into the global market. The RCMP pressed on, but as time passed, hopes of recovering the gold faded. As the criminal investigation continued, a legal battle erupted between Brinks and Air Canada. Brinks sued Air Canada, alleging security failures that enabled the theft. Air Canada denied wrongdoing, blaming the sophisticated criminal operation and forged documents. The case spotlighted the complex legal issues of high-value shipments and security responsibility. Its outcome could reshape future protocols and set a precedent for similar cases. Years later, the Toronto gold heist remains a captivating mystery. The fate of the missing gold and the masterminds at large, like Arsalan Chowdhury, is still unknown. Did the thieves succeed in erasing all traces, or is the gold hidden, waiting to resurface? The story endures as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities in even the most secure systems and the reach of organized crime.